It seems the new sort of NPPF guidelines that are coming out are dissolving, well, trying to devolve powers from local authority so that it's a bit more centralized and go, look, you guys have to fucking build. None of this NIMBYism bollocks. Like, you got to build. It's like they're trying to extract powers away locally. Is that's a right sort of assumption to make?
Yeah, it's quite strategic, but at a big level. And I think that the kind of the golden thread, as it were, which is an old industry term, is probably through the discussion that they're giving around development around train stations and
Yeah.
That's
that arterial transport route throughout the country. You know, what's well connected train stations, big roads. It's the arterial links. They're basically trying to bolt on biggish development onto established infrastructure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's fair to say that it's quite a radical change, this NPPF draft at the moment, isn't it?
So the NPPF was introduced in 2012. There's been six iterations of it, typically over Christmases gone by, and this one is the most drastic. I was a bit surprised, and I think there's a few people that were also surprised in the industry, much more learned professionals than myself, that were kind of like, wow. So this is a proposal. It's not adopted in policy. It's not material, but it is a marker for what could potentially happen. So ideally, we need to get to March on this and just see how it plays out as to what's actually going to be adopted. But even if you were to kind of, remove 50% of the changes, it's still a lot of change. Um, so yeah, it's potential.
I remember you saying in a presentation I heard you give Jack about a month ago, and you were saying how the next 6 to 18 months are going to be drastic for opportunity and planning for various reasons. Don't know if you had a crystal ball, mate, but they've teed you up nicely here. Do you know what I mean?
We've got to advise on that every day though, because developers, clients, house builders, SMEs, private individuals are coming to us every day saying, right, we want to do this, let's do it. And I'm going, yeah, that's a good site, let's go. Or I'm saying, no, not yet. Or I'm saying, yes, just not this week. And we've got a host of applications that are kind of teed up, ready to go, but we won't necessarily submit until the conditions of that authority alongside the NPPF are right. It has to be right. This isn't the floodgates aren't opened, but they could arguably be loosened off in, I would argue, 6 to 18 months time. This is what I mean. It's that industry ping pong. It takes time to come in.
Yeah, because after March, because between now and March, they're seeking basically feedback to reconsider. This is the draft. It still can materially change on
Agreed.
different aspects. But then after, on the 11th of March, it doesn't just come into effect. It's then got to go through reviews and more approvals. So you would say between 6 and 18 months away.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think typically they'll line it up with budget, and we've just had the budget, a very, very, very late autumn budget. Typically, changes to assist and prop up that budget come through house building. This is a proposed tweak to the national drive and directive to develop. And now they need to let that play out, I would say, probably into the next autumn budget, whether that's early, late, or indifferent. So realistically, this is what I mean. You've probably got another, let's say, 8 months from today, where it's going to kind of hopefully be at a point where government are looking to kind of crystallise the changes. Again, once we get to March, we'll know roughly where we are. There'll probably be a summer of deliberation, and then it'll probably be, 2.5 years after Labour got in, where there's actual tangible, what we would call material change to the policies that
Mm.
govern the place and space.